Don't rush to the money. Chasing the money, you're gonna be chasing your own tail. Become a better person. Don't take a job for the money. Take a job because of who you're becoming. The sooner you can find your passion, you get on your mission, and you stick on that mission for X amount of years, the quicker you're gonna get rich for real. The quicker you're gonna become an expert, and the quicker you're just gonna win in all aspects, in all areas. Alright, so I got my little bro Kempson with me right now. He's you're 18, right?
Yeah.
He's 18, and he has some things right now he's dealing with in his life. He's trying to figure out right now in his career, and I want to kind of just talk to him a little bit and talk to him with you guys and just walk through it. And hopefully you guys can get some game off it. So, kind of just introduce yourself real quick.
My name's Kempson.
Where you live?
Toronto.
And how you know me?
My sister introduced me to you.
Okay, so we talked real quick, like before we got out here, but just tell them a little bit about, like, what you're thinking about, what you're struggling with, and what we're gonna talk about.
Well, like, what I'm mainly thinking about is like how my future's gonna look. Like, I like to work on cars and like to get my hands dirty and stuff, and I also like, tech, like computers and stuff, and like, I think I'm good in those two base skills. And like, I want to go into like a careers, or like I want to work on cars and like do like something like cybersecurity at the same time. And then like, I think that's like something I can do, because like, like one's hard, the other one's like easy at the same time.
And what was the other thing you're saying about like money?
Oh yeah. Most careers, like, you have to wait a while to like you have to start slow then move up. But like, I just want to get money as soon as possible. And like, in both of those careers, like, you can get money just like as soon as possible, like when I start up.
Okay. So the first thing I just want to touch base with you, right? So you have two different ideas for what you want to do. You're 18, right? You got a lot of time. And you said you want to make the most money as possible right now. So before we even dive too deep in, like, what's the reason why you want to make the most money right now?
Like, I low-key just want to, like, I don't like seeing small numbers in my account, because, like, nobody likes to see that. Like, people like seeing large numbers, and, like, I could use that money to, like, benefit stuff, like, working on cars, like, buying stuff to, like, mod cars. And, like, I like to, like, soup up cars, like, flip them and stuff. And then, like, maybe I can use that money to, like, get my own place, like, in the city, or, like,
Okay, so basically you want to invest in, you're flipping cars, you want to get your own place and stuff like that. So what I'll say is this. You don't really need, because right now you live with your mom, right? You don't really need that much money to flip your cars and do that. Obviously, you needed some investment and shit, right? But a lot of times, people, like young men, we jump to want to be out on our own, right? And we take that step before we're ready, and we end up actually setting ourselves back. For example, like this, there's communities out there. I don't know if you knew this. Did you know that, like, for example, like the Jewish community or even the Asian community, they look at renting an apartment as a waste of your money? Do you know why?
No, I don't.
Right now, my mom, she owns this place, right? Her mortgage is $1,900. Her mortgage. There's people right now whose rent is $2,600, right? For a smaller space. And the difference between paying your mortgage and paying rent is that once you're done paying your mortgage, you own the property. You're the landlord. Paying rent, as soon as your lease is over, you got to leave, and essentially you just gave that money to that person and paid their mortgage. Because think about it, if you're a landlord, you're renting your house to somebody else, right? If your mortgage costs $2,000, how much would you rent your place out for?
Probably like $5,000, most likely.
Well, that's a big increase. You're probably not going to get that much, but what I'm saying is that you would charge it at a price where your mortgage is going to be paid by your tenant and you're still going to make a profit, right?
Yeah.
So that means when you're paying rent, you're paying someone else's mortgage and you're paying them a profit, and you don't get anything other than the house you're living in right now. And when you have to leave, and you don't get anything. If you're paying a mortgage, that means you own a property. And that property could be valued in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And that's how a lot of people start getting wealthy. For example, my uncle Kyle, he was lucky enough to get a program when he was in college, and he was able to get a condo at a very low down payment through this program, right? So he was like 23 years old, and he owned his condo, and he went through college, university, through teacher school, and he became a teacher. But that condo that he owned, he was able to borrow against it, invest in more property, right? And now he owns like three properties. He's worth a lot of money because of those properties. Each property is worth like, you know, 700,000 X amount of money, right? So now his net worth is up, and he's a property owner, right? So you being 18, I wouldn't want you to rush into just going to get your own apartment for the sake of having an apartment, right? A lot of times we don't want to live at our mom's house for a lot of different reasons, but I wouldn't want you to jump into that before being ready. So what I would recommend you is focus on your careers first, and, you know, get that in order before jumping out on your own. So now I got a question for you, right? If you could pick any career that you wanted, right, and it had nothing to do with money, it's just what you would do for free and you're passionate about and it was fun for you, which one would you pick?
I mean, like, both of them sound fun, but like, I'm more of like a hands-on guy, so probably like auto mechanics. Cause like when I first started, like I have a class at my school, like it's in the auto program, and like when I first started, I was like really confused, but like we started with like engines and then small engines and how to change a tire, and like we moved up more to more advanced stuff, and then like I'm thinking to myself, wow, I get this now, cause like you're confused at like a certain time, like when you start something new, but like you get used to it over time, and then you understand like it's easy then.
Okay, so basically, if you had to pick one career that you're passionate about, it would be the mechanics. Okay, and when you say that, like, can you see yourself, for example, in 5-10 years, or even in your 30s or 40s, like working in a mechanic shop, or would it be like maybe some other area of the industry?
Probably like I'd be working for myself. Like I probably have like my own business, or like I flip cars for people, I mod cars, and then like have like my own workspace, like, you know. Okay. But like I need experience like in the work industry though. But like, yeah.
Okay, so basically, like body shop, like tricking out cool cars, buying cars at the auction, turning them up, flipping them and shit like that. No, that's cool. Okay, so if that's the case, I would recommend don't worry about the cybersecurity, right? Let's just go straight for what counts. Cut out the other thing. Maybe, you know, you thought about cybersecurity because you're thinking like, oh, it makes more money. What's going on, y'all?
We're gonna get something to drink.
All right, we're making a little video right here.
Boom bang.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yes, sir.
What video going on there?
We're doing some content for my YouTube channel, which is some motivational shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boom bang. Yeah.
Yeah.
We outside.
We outside.
We soon come back.
All right. Yeah. So basically, I would say just go straight for what you're passionate about, what you can see yourself doing long term, first and foremost, right? Let me tell you another piece of game that I learned. There's people out there who won't take a job for the money. They will only take a job for the skills, for the experience. It's not about how much am I getting paid. It's about what am I learning and who am I becoming. Because everything that you do, it gives you a certain skill set. If you go get a job learning cybersecurity, it's giving you a tech skill set. And it's putting you further in that direction. If you're not going in that direction, the fastest way to get to the bag is to take a job that's gonna put you in the direction you really wanna go, right? So if you can start doing work that's gonna give you skills and experience to be better at fixing cars, flipping cars, body shop work, all that kind of shit, that's what you should do. You shouldn't take a job that's not gonna help mold you into the person you wanna become. That's the real question is, every time you look at a job or a job offer, don't ask yourself how much are they paying me, ask yourself who am I turning into? What is this molding me into? What kind of skills is it giving me? What's it making me better at? What's it making me worse at? Right? That's what's the important thing, because you get paid based off of who you are. You could have two people working at the same place, right? And they get paid two different salaries. Why is that? It's based on the value they provide. And you can make yourself a more valuable person. You know how? You got to get the right skills. You got to get the right knowledge, the right information, and then implement it and apply it, right? So you got to think about it that way. It's like, okay, cool. You're working at the body shop, right? Say, for example, one guy, he just only knows how to work on Japanese cars. He only has experience working on Hondas and Toyotas and Subarus, right? But say now you have experience working on those cars and you have experience working on German cars like Benzes, Beamers, and this and that, right? You automatically become more valuable. So when you go to that same exact job offer, you can actually negotiate a higher salary, right? You can say, hey, I have experience with these cars and this cars and this cars. I've done this and this and this. So this is the kind of salary that I'm looking to be paid. Somebody else might not have that negotiating power. But if you get that same job and you have on your resume cyber security experience, it's not relevant. So what did you do it for? Just for the money? It's a short-term game. It's a short-term goal. The best thing you could possibly do to be ahead of everybody your age is think long-term. Because the long-term for you, it feels long, but it's really short. Because you're 18. If you take the next 7 years between now and age 25, locked in on your path, you could be a millionaire by 25, right? If you stay focused on one thing and stack your skills in that direction. 7 years feels like long, but when you're 25, you're young, fam. You have your whole life ahead of you, right? So that's what I would say to you to do. So now, get back to the money thing, because a lot of people, we all want money right now, right? We all want money right now. So knowing what you know about, flipping cars and all that kind of stuff, what are some jobs right now that you could be eligible for where you could work in that field and get some skills and become better at it?
Meanwhile, there's a lot of jobs that could use a lot of people that understand how to run diagnostics and how to change tires and all of that and oil change. And I feel like I could do those things, but it's hard because there's a lot of other people that could do those things. But what I really think mainly is that I think most people can get a job with where they can gain experience, an apprenticeship, and then they can probably ask their coworker or their main boss to see if they can put them somewhere else. And then maybe if they don't want to do it, they can just start the business that they got from they can use their money that they got from the apprenticeship to start their business. But it wouldn't hurt to get more experience than start a business later. But business now, I think that would be a good thing to do.
Okay. So basically you're saying there's jobs you could possibly get, but you're leaning more towards starting your own business. Okay. So what I'll say is this: you need a job to start a business. It's going to be hard for you to know how to run a company if you never learn how to work in the company, if you never seen how the company was structured, right? So what I would say is this: let's take a quick audit right now. You mentioned diagnostics and things like that, right? Let's take a quick audit just off the top of the dome, loosely. What kind of skills do you have right now that you know how to do, or that you could do if you had an opportunity to do it, that could add value to a body shop or somewhere like that?
How I run diagnostics is where I start with if the car had maintenance before, or if it needs maintenance, and then I move to the interior.
I'm saying, so let's just list off a bunch of things that you can do. List off some skills, some things you're able to do.
Oh yeah, I can change the tires. I can do brake changes. I can do the exhaust change and mainly interior stuff. But what I'm really good at is working on the engine itself, because you need the engine for your car to work. That's the main thing, really.
Okay. So a lot of that stuff is mainly mechanics, like under the hood shit. So if you bring that to a body shop, maybe they don't have someone who works on mechanics. Maybe everybody is all on the body side. So you could let them know, hey, look, I know how to work on engines and stuff like that. I want to learn how to work on bodies, but I bring something else of value to the shop that you guys could use. You make sure you highlight that on your resume and you communicate that in your interview. You could go get yourself a job and learn some of the skills and level yourself up, right? Now, the reason I bring this up is because one, it's helping you become who you want to become. Two, it's going to put some money in your pocket. It might not be that much money, right? But now look at it this way. You're going to have the job now. You're 18. You don't have no children. You don't have a girlfriend, do you? You have no responsibilities other than yourself, right? So that means you have time. Do you have a curfew? No. You don't have a curfew. So say, for example, right? You get a full-time job when you're done school, right? Just an example. Maybe you should take some post-secondary. I don't know how it works, but say you get a full-time job when you're done school. You're working at a body shop, right? Let's say you're working 9 until 5. First of all, as an 18-year-old, working 9 till 5, even if you're getting paid minimum wage, like $17 an hour right now, and I think it's in Ontario, right? You're going to be taking home like around $3,000 a month. The fact that you have no rent to pay for, no car to pay for, $3,000 a month in your pocket's a good amount of money, bro. If I was making, I make more than that right now, but if I was making $3,000 a month right now, and I could keep the whole thing in my pocket and not have to pay no bills, I could do a lot with that, with what I know in my mind right now. Most adults, like coming from our background, a lot of these other people are doing better, but a lot of people from our background, they're making like $3,000-$4,000 a month and they're spending like 95% of it on bills. They take home $4,000 at the end of the month. Their rent is like over $2,000. Then they got to pay car payment. Then they got to pay car insurance. Then they got to buy groceries. And they got to give money to their children and put their kids through school, whatever they're doing, field trips, clothes. Then they got to buy food and all this other shit. They barely have any money left at the end of the month. You don't have to worry about that. So you could work a regular job, fam, and have more money than a lot of adults right now. So by thinking like that, in that perspective, there's no reason for you to try and rush to big amounts of money when you need to be gathering skills. So say, boom, you get a full-time job at a body shop, right? They're paying you minimum wage. You're making like $3,000 a month. You have no bills. You have money in your pocket, bro. If you want to, you could literally save $10,000 in 4 months. Because you're making $3,000 every month. If you put down $2,500 a month every month and only spend $500 in between the month, you save $10,000 in 4 months. So it's right now, what is it? It's May, June, July, August. Imagine you had a job right now and you could guarantee that you would have $10,000 in your bank by August.
That would be insane.
It's very easy, bro. You're 18 with no responsibilities. You can do that, right? And then now look, after 5 o'clock, you don't got a curfew. You don't got kids. You don't got a girlfriend. You don't party like that. You're not outside doing all that shit. You could take some of the money that you have. Let's say you want to start a little business knowledge, right? You could do something simple like start flipping iPhones. I don't know how it works in the car industry. Maybe you could flip car parts. I don't know how it works. Maybe you could just start doing odd jobs. Maybe you could like start a car detailing business so you can learn about cleaning cars. So you could say it's more like a side hustle. You have your job in the daytime, and after you're done work, maybe you post some ads on Kijiji. I'll detail your car for cheap, just to start, just to get a feel for it, get in the field, meet people with cars and let them know, hey, I work at this body shop, come see me. Start bringing business to your job, and now your boss likes you because you're getting people from your detailing business and you're bringing them to come to the shop now, right? Little shit like that, or any kind of business that you start, but start as a side hustle though. Don't try and make it your main thing. Start as a side hustle, because you don't really. The thing about a business, I try to start 20 different businesses. The thing about every business is it takes time and dedication. You're not gonna jump into the business and just get rich just like that, especially if it's your first business. First, you have to get testimonials, which means you have to do work for people and have them leave reviews on you, and you have them tell other people that you do good jobs. That's the only way you're gonna get people to trust you enough to pay a high price, right? So that's the first thing. Then you got to do all different shit. You got to, logos, website, you got to make your social media accounts, right? You got to figure out your marketing strategy, figure out your sales strategy. You got to buy the products. There's a lot that goes into a business, and it takes time. And you're going to ruin your business if you try and put too much pressure on it. I've done this. I've started a business, had no other income, and relied on my business to pay my bills, and I ruined my business because I was rushing it. I didn't take the time to build the proper foundation because I was rushing to the money to pay my bills, and I fucked my business up. So for you, if you have a job, right, and you build your business slowly but surely, then you can build a better business than I ever built right now. It might take you 2-3 years, but that's how long it takes in business, right? So I think that would be a good way for you to approach it, right? So now based on what I said, like if you were to say get a job at some body shop or something like that, what might be some side hustles you would think about?
I mean, like, probably the side hustle would be like you said, like detailing cars, like clean the cars, or like maybe I can do something like also on the side, like I can check your engine, maybe like soup up your car or something, or like, the little things I can do.
Yeah. Okay. And so now think about it this way, right? Okay, cool. Picture your life like this, right? Just exactly like I said, right? You done school. You decide you want to go into that industry. You're working full time at a body shop, making $3,000 a month. You're detailing cars and offering services on the side, right? So you're making more than $3,000 a month. Let's say you're making like $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Maybe you make $1,000 a month from your side hustle, $2,000 a month from your side hustle, right? How would your life be if you were doing that?
I think my life would be like really exciting, but like also challenging at the same time. Cause like I gotta like focus on like one thing and the other, and like, it's like focusing on one thing, like the main thing like you love, like me working on cars and like doing detailing and like other stuff, but like on another thing, like that's gonna be hard because like, you get tired during the day, and like, you need like a little or like a lot of sleep, to like get up the next day.
Okay, so is that like a challenge that you would enjoy, or is it a challenge you think would be something that you wouldn't enjoy?
I think it would be like in the middle, because like no one really wants to get up in the morning. Like I see myself more as like an afternoon person, like working in the afternoon. But like, yeah, I think I can like do the morning thing.
So you're saying you could sacrifice if you had to make it happen, to make your dream life happen. You'd be willing to sacrifice that and start waking up earlier. Yeah, and then how do you think that amount of money would kind of meet your goals if you're making like between $4,000 and $5,000 a month between your job and your side hustle?
Yeah, pretty much.
So after this conversation, do you feel like you have like more clarity on what would be a good route for you going forward?
Yeah, I think I have like a more safer, stronger route to go on to like what I want to do. But like I'll still keep like the cybersecurity thing in like my back pocket.
Okay. Yeah, bro. I would say no stress on that. Like someone at your age, you have so much time to make up your mind. So you definitely want to try as much things as possible. So if you do try out the auto thing and it doesn't work out, definitely try a new lane. I've done that a lot of times. What I will say is this: if you want the one secret to success in life, it's this. Pick one thing, stick with it for a long amount of time. You're gonna fail a couple times. You know when they say fall 7 times, get up 8?
Yeah.
Do that. Pick one thing, fall 7 times, get up 8 times. Every time that happens, you're gonna learn more. You're gonna learn more. You're gonna learn more. You're gonna become more and more of an expert.
Less mistakes.
And you're gonna make less mistakes. And then when someone says, "Hey, what do you know about? Tell me about your career as an auto body guy," Yeah, well, I've been working in the industry for 7 to 8 years since I was 18. I'm 25 now. I've worked in this area. I've worked in this area. I can do this. I can do this. Here are my photos in my portfolio from all the years I've been working, and you can see everything I've done. Here's things I've achieved, and this is what I'm worth now. And that's how much money that I've earned over my time of doing this, right? And then so you can just see how just simply staying in that one lane for a long enough time, making the mistakes and learning better, just puts you in a way higher position, right? And if you do that in anything in life, you'll win. If you do that in the auto, you'll win. If you do that in the cybersecurity, you'll win. If you do that in the whatever industry, you'll win. That's why I asked you, what would you do for free if you had to? Because the key is sticking with it. That's the key. And everybody knows that verbally. They'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. But the thing about it is, once you reach a couple failures and you're going through the emotions and you feel like shit sometimes, you're like, damn, I tried it. It didn't work. I want to be better, but I'm having a hard time. This, that, and the third. Oh, I fucked up this car. I got fired from this job. I tried to get this client. They didn't want me. You're going to go through that roller coaster of emotions, and that's going to make you feel like quitting. And if you can keep going through that, that's when you're really going to reach that point of success, because that's what it takes. It's like everybody says, yeah, be consistent. Yeah, stay focused, but they don't really stay focused when they're in the down point, when they're experiencing that failure, when they fall down that 7 times, they stay down, or they go and they switch to something else. And then it becomes, hey, like, who are you? What have you done? Yeah, well, I've worked in cybersecurity. I've worked in the auto industry. I've worked in the tree industry. I've worked in landscaping. I've worked in construction. I've worked in this over the last X amount of years. And they're like, okay, so what can you do for me? Well, I can do all the, I need an expert in one thing, right? I don't want someone who is decent at a million things. I need someone who's great at this one job, right? Even as a business owner, right? You have one job as a business owner and you have to be great at that job. So the key to life is sticking with, there's like a magic number. What I noticed is like the most successful people have done what they've been doing for between 7 to 10 years. Like you can look at YouTubers right now on YouTube, like after they've been posting for 7 years, they're like out of here, right? Like rappers, like so much people I studied, it's that 7 to 10 year mark of sticking in one lane where it's like you just become super successful, right? So keep the cybersecurity in your back pocket, right? But just know the secret to life is sticking with one thing for a long enough time to become an expert at it. If you had to say you learned one biggest thing from this conversation, what would it be?
I mean, like the one thing I learned mainly is like how you don't have to make money really fast, but like you can, but like you don't, like if you know what you really want to do with it after, then like I said earlier, like I want to make money to like get my own place, but like you said that I should make money and then wait till I'm ready to leave my home. And since I'm not paying no bills, or I don't like to party, but like if someone invites me, I'm gonna go. Mm-hmm. But like I'll come home early and shit. Yeah. And like, yeah. That's how. And another thing is where like, if I'm ready to leave, then like I'll just prepare myself.
Yeah, Brody. So I'm happy I could help you on that, dog. Probably make another video in the future about some shit. And for all you guys watching, all you young men watching this, don't rush to the money. Chasing the money, you're gonna be chasing your own tail. Become a better person. Don't take a job for the money. Take a job because of who you're becoming, right? The sooner you can find your passion, you get on your mission, and you stick on that mission for X amount of years, the quicker you're gonna get rich for real, the quicker you're gonna become an expert, and the quicker you're just gonna win in all aspects, in all areas. So, love you guys. It's Bigger Than Max, and we're checking out. See you guys in the next video.